YouTube, we got a new update confirmed coming soon with Brawl Talk tomorrow, plus a new legendary brawler that seems to possibly breathe fire. I also have other predictions for what's coming in this next Brawl Stars update. Now guys, Brawl Talk is coming tomorrow, and as always, Supercell is going to give me early access. I haven't seen it yet, but I will at least a couple hours beforehand, and I'll have a video covering everything from Brawl Talk that you need to know with some extra specific detail. So if you don't want to miss that, definitely subscribe and turn on notifications. Today's video is sponsored by Pubg Mobile, who's bringing back their new and improved payload mode. In the new payload mode, there are fully armored vehicles, including armored helicopters, which will allow you to go da-da-da-da-da-da-da and destroy your enemies. You can also take the base and find the new super weapon crate, allowing you to get heavy weaponry to take down those helicopters and armored vehicles. There's also the new advanced communications tower, which will allow you to recall your defeated teammates, allowing you to get the decisive advantage. Now make sure you don't miss out on Pubg Mobile's Payload 2.0 live event, which is going to be on October 19th, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Just make sure to tune in at the link down below for lots of Pubg Mobile fun and, of course, some prizes. But today, they put out this video right here, giving us a lot of hints of what's going to be coming in this next update. First of all, a huge flame explosion, plus we've already had some other fire-related hints, so a lot of us think the next brawler is going to be fire-wielding. But let's look a little more into this video. First of all, you obviously notice a lot of Poco-like signs. You got a lot of skulls, which look exactly like Poco. And if you see all the way in the back, there's a big Poco hat. Now my guess is this next Brawl Pass is Poco themed, maybe a Day of the Dead type update. It is of course October, where it's Halloween, so it would make a lot of sense. My guess is Poco is the subject of the next Brawl Pass. And of course, with that, there's probably a new type environment that's sort of Poco's type environment. And of course, another big thing is, what about that candle? I think obviously that candle's put there for a reason, to pique our interest. We'll talk about that a little more later. Now, also important is the thumbnail of Brawl Talk, where it reveals the new brawler is going to be a legendary. I'm sorry, free-to-play players, it might take you a while to get this one, but hey, at least we're getting an update quickly after the last one. Maybe there'll be some other free-to-play friendly features. Now look at this new brawler. I think there's a lot of things to give us some hints about it. First of all, I think it's a female with that type of haircut. I could be wrong. A lot of people are wondering about the object here, the weapon. What could that possibly be? It does kind of look like a paintbrush, but a lot of us think it's a fire-wielding brawler, so I'm not sure if that really makes sense. So some other options could be like a torch. Some people suggested a candle because of the candle in that video. I don't think it's going to be a candle. What I actually think the candle is going to be a new candle type skin for this brawler that's going to be at the end of the Brawl Pass, because we think it's a fire-wielding brawler, so I think a candle skin for it would possibly make sense. Maybe that's a reach, but that's my thought. Now I have a lot of other predictions for what's coming in this next update, but I want to talk about this new brawler and what type of brawler I think it's going to be and what type of attacks it'll have. Now first off, I think the brawler is going to be a fire-breathing female. Now I'm going to show you this video here just for some background, because I think this is the type of brawler it's going to be. But first of all, I think the attack is going to be something like she breathes out fire. You know, usually fire breathers, they have like gasoline or other objects in their mouth to make a huge flaming effect. I think the attack is going to last about 2 seconds. And each time you're in it, it's going to be sort of like an M's attack, but it's just going to be straight out. If you're in it, you take damage, not like M's where it goes further and further away. I think it's just going to be 2 seconds of damage in a small radius, probably a lot smaller than M's, maybe, but a similar range, but a smaller radius. I also think the super is going to be some sort of big explosion. Maybe this brawler throws something out and it lands in an area, causing a huge explosion, similar to like the radius of like a spike super, but it does a decent amount of damage, maybe like 1500, and if you get caught by it, you get set on fire, sort of like a crow attack, where it does damage over time. I think that would be a really cool addition and definitely something very unique. I mean, you have to think about this is a legendary brawler, so I don't think it can have simple mechanics. It's got to be something that usually Supercell said they base the rarity of the brawler on not only how complex they think it is, but also what sort of rarities are needed in Brawl Stars. I also have some ideas for the star powers. I think if it is a fire-breathing brawler, I think it would make sense to have a star power that might increase the radius of the attack. That's also a type of star power we don't really have in the game. There's a lot of range extensions, making the range go further, but not really, I'm pretty sure not any that make it go wider. So I think this brawler is gonna have that because I think it would fit it very well. For the second star power, I think it could be possible to make the attack last longer. I think it's going to be something that does damage or that lasts a certain amount of time. So I think having a star power that makes it last a little bit longer could also be something that would really buff up the brawler. Now let's go into what else I think is coming in this update. First of all, it's an October update, so there's gotta be Halloween type skins. I mean, come on, we got Demonic Bow. I think Demonic Bow is coming in this update. I think we can all be pretty confident of that one. Another skin I think is coming is Zombie. It just makes perfect sense for a Halloween update. Now, there are other skins we know of from Supercell make campaigns, but we don't know when they're coming. For example, there is Arch Villain B, but I actually don't think the skin is coming in this update. It could possibly come, but it's just not quite as dark Halloween type. And my expectation is this skin will come in another update. Now, we do know the winner of the Brawl Day Gale campaign. I just want to show you it is Nutcracker Gale. Of course, it's going to be a Brawl Day skin. It's assuming that this type of skin would come in December. So it's cool to know that this is the winner. It's definitely a decent skin for Gale, and I'm excited for it, but it's definitely not coming this up. Now, what other skins could be coming? Well, what's one brawler that doesn't have any skins? Rosa. Rosa's the only brawler with no skins. It's gotta be, like, she's gotta get a skin, right? Come on, she's the only one without a skin. I'm gonna assume it's a high likelihood Rosa will get a skin in this update, but I actually think it might be a PowerPoint skin. That's just my assumption. I don't really have anything to base it off. That's just a guess. I also think Poco is going to be getting a skin, and I think it's going to be the skin you get in the Brawl Pass at the very early stages once you buy it. But what about new game modes? What big new feature could be coming in this update? There's usually some sort of big feature, unless it's a small update, but we just had a small update, so I'm guessing this one will have that sort of feature to really give this update some spice, some fire. Well, I do think Life Leech / Graveyard Shift could be coming back since it is that time of year, and I'm guessing it'll be in game for 3 or 4 weeks, and then it'll probably leave to come back, you know, next year again. But that's not exactly a big new feature. What big new feature could we get? Well, one, I think we're going to be getting a new type of monthly challenge. I mean, in the past, we had the 15-win challenges to try to qualify for the esports events, but those have been long gone. So I do think there's going to be a new type of monthly challenge, maybe for some decent rewards, and it might become sort of permanent feature in Brawl Stars as another way to possibly spend gems and get really nice rewards if you're able to get a good amount of wins. Sort of like in Clash Royale, how they have grand challenges. I think this will be something like that, but it's only possibly a limited time thing coming every month or every 2 weeks or something like that. I also think we might see some sort of rework or new feature for special events, because honestly, I think a lot of us are pretty bored of them. Not only have the maps not changed in about a year or maybe more, the last special event we got was very similar to one we already had in game, and I think a lot of us were pretty disappointed with it. It's not bad, right? But it's not very exciting, and it wasn't an exciting new thing. So I do think we'll get some sort of spice or mix up, whether it's a new special event or just completely new maps for a lot of the modes, or some sort of rework to it. Now, one thing that was talked about as needing a rework, and I think a lot of us agree with this, is the looking for team feature. Supercell has said that this is not really working as well as they want, and I think a lot of us agree with that. Personally, I can never even use it because I can never find a team with it. It's just literally, it takes too long, and because it takes so long, people tend to not even use it a lot of times. So I actually think we're going to get a complete rework of the looking for team feature, and I'm expecting that's gonna come in this update, as they actually talked about this many months ago, so they definitely had time to think about it and work on it. Probably this update is my guess. I also think we'll see a lot of small improvements to pins. There's some pins in game where they look almost the exact same as the happy one, as a special one, like with Nani. Come on, really? So I do think there's going to be some improvements to pins, and maybe even small things like if you're using a special pin and it's an epic, normally on the character selection screen it has the background of that pin. I think they'll put that background possibly in-game to maybe sort of show how special that pin is that you're using, because a lot of people have requested that. Now, will we get something like Club Wars? My guess is no, it's too soon for Club Wars to come in-game. I do think we might get Club Wars this year, but my guess is it won't come this update. They recently, a couple months ago, before they went on break, were talking about, you know, what would you guys think Club Wars would be? They publicly asked us that. And to me, that shows that they were really not close to putting Club Wars in game. So I do think we'll get it, but my guess is it's not this up. Now, will we get a new permanent type game mode? My thought is no, not only because I think Life Leech is coming back this update for October, and I think that would really conflict having 2 new game modes. I think, honestly, the amount of game modes we have in the game right now is at a pretty good level. We have 2 events which switch between 2 game modes every day, and we have 2 permanent ones, or 3 permanent ones, I guess, with Solo Showdown / Duo Showdown as well. So I think overall there's a good balance for how many game modes we have, so I don't think there's going to be a new, possibly permanent mode. Although I do think there will be a lot of new maps, especially for Hot Zone. I think Hot Zone will get almost all new maps. Well, let me know your update predictions down below, and make sure to tune in for Brawl Talk coming soon. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you later. Peace.